anything now.
Welcome to This Week at Four Horsemen, a very special 50th episode. 50! Yay! Kermit hands. Yay!
Must be like that.
No. Where we are also on the plane of Ixalan. This is the captain of our ship, Vronska. And I am your pirate mate, Jace Bell Ryan. And together we command a ship of the Brazen Coalition. Let's find Oraska.
Got it. Yes. Vronska? That's me? I like
Vraska.
That. She's
Vraska.
like the Gorgon chick, right?
Yeah,
All the snake hairs.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
exactly.
Cool.
She's really cool. She gets cooler too.
Her.
So we're gonna start off with a giveaway.
Yes.
You can win a $50 shopping spree, essentially a gift card, which is hidden in the store, and we're going to give out 3 clues throughout the show tonight.
And if you happen to be in the store right now, Jason, Shay, it's not down there yet, so don't go crazy tearing the store apart while we're up here.
It will be. It will be in the store when we open tomorrow. So just watch the show, listen for the clues, try to figure out where it's at, and be the first person to find that gift card.
Hi, EJ.
So let's jump into some comics.
Let's do it. Comics this week. Some news. Oh, look at that. New Flash Annual, Flash War Prelude.
Yeah, this is the biggest Flash story of the year, and some maybe say they're blowing their load a little early in the year. But who am I to judge?
Oh, you know, they got a lot of 2018 to go. So.
They got a lot of 2018 to go. Why have the biggest story in January?
Yeah. Well, that just means they can have a lot more bigger stories throughout the year.
Not if this is the biggest story.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, so far. I guess maybe if they said so far.
Yeah.
No?
Okay.
Do you know what it's about? Have you got to read it? I haven't even flipped through it.
No, it's just a prelude to Flash War.
Okay.
That's the big event that the Flash story has been building up to.
Gotcha.
All right, so also from DC Comics this week, we have the newest issue of Dark Knight's Metal. This is issue 5 of 6. They have just blown it away with the cover art every single time. Isn't it?
That is really cool.
And all those dead Justice League people.
All right, what is La Morte?
La Morte is dead?
De La Morte?
The dead, I think.
I'd go with that.
I'm not sure.
Google it, kids.
Yeah. Let us know.
All right, Marvel. We got some more Deadpool action coming up.
Yes, Despicable Deadpool number 293 comes out this week. And what's this one about?
I think Rogue's had enough of his crap.
So the next item on Deadpool's bucket list is to settle the score with Rogue. I'm going with Rogue on this versus series.
Yeah.
And I think she's got this one.
Yeah.
And then we have a one of Marvel's big titles wrapping up.
Yep. Yes, the new Phoenix Resurrection, rather. I got to read the first one. I haven't read the rest of them. It ended way too fast. This is the last issue of the 5-issue run.
Yeah, there should be a trade coming out soon, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
And it kind of ties all the X-Men books together. There's X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue, and X-Men Red is coming out soon. So
a lot of X-Men.
I think like she ties X-Men Gold and Blue together, and then like she's gonna lead the X-Men Red team.
Right.
Yeah.
When will the Green Power Ranger be in? X-Men Green? No.
Moving on to Star Wars.
Got some Star Wars books.
We've got the newest issue of Dr. Aphra. This is issue 16, and oh my gosh!
I was in the store and somebody
I was behind the counter reading it.
Shrieked like a little girl.
Turn the page. Oh my god! This is an important issue in Star Wars comics history.
Yeah.
Definitely check this one out.
Yeah. I need to read it. I will start reading it. Promise.
And we have 2 Star Wars one-shots this week.
This one I want to read. This is one of my favorite characters from the last movie, DJ. I'm sure you know what DJ stands for.
Actually, I don't.
Don't join. That's what it stands for. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This
Go with
jockey.
that. Not this jockey. Not this jockey.
So this is a one-shot of DJ, who is the Splicer character from The Last Jedi, and this actually brings him up to being arrested and getting in the jail cell where he meets Finn and Rose.
You think he's going to be in the next movie? He's got to be. They left his story kind of hanging because he was.
He
really
doesn't
good.
really have a story. He's in that movie. He's less of a character and he's more like a storytelling device.
Yeah.
I mean, he isn't. I don't know. Like I'd be fine with him being in episode 9.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's essential at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see where he's going. If he's a good guy, bad guy, if he really is just gray.
He's
right down the middle.
He's a great Jedi.
He's a great Jedi.
He's a great Jedi. Oh my gosh. He's not. Moving on, we have the last of the Star Wars Forces of Destiny one-shots. This one is Rose and Paige. The Tico sisters.
Yes.
So if you're curious about Paige, who, spoiler alerts, is the sister that dies right at the beginning, definitely check it out. My daughter and I have been reading the Rose novel, the Cobalt Squadron novel, which is all about Rose and Paige.
Right.
And I think Paige is a little bit more of what people may have wanted from Rose.
Really?
Yeah, but we could talk about that later.
Okay.
Moving on to the Four Horsemen
versus
series. Last week, in the upset, Picard beats Thor by not a small margin either.
No. There have already been some complaints registered.
Okay, so nobody is arguing that, like, in a cage match, Thor is going to...
Yes, but you're taking away some of Picard's best weapons, his brain.
We've always tried to keep these as general as possible and say that any character is allowed to use anything that would regularly be at their use.
Right.
So Picard has his ship and his technology. And a lot of
Thor
people
got his hammer. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, Thor got his hammer. A lot of people have made the argument that Picard has dealt with beings at Thor's level or higher.
Yeah.
Q.
And still alive.
Yeah. We have our winner of this week's last week's comment contest, Ken Weaver. Can you let us know what he said?
Ken Weaver, one of the best comments we've ever got on one of these episodes. All right, here's what he says. Picard, being the smart man he is, invites Thor to go drinking. Knowing Thor could drink him under the table, Picard lets Thor get drunk enough to ask about the hammer and then picks it up. Thor is shocked and asks how Picard is able to pick the hammer up. Picard says, "Science, my boy, science." You got it, yeah, do it right.
Science, my boy, science.
Thor storms off, and that's when Picard turns the holodeck off, leaving Picard in the room with the real hammer on the floor of the holodeck. That is exactly how that would go down.
And that would be the way that episode of Next Gen would end.
Yeah.
Would just
roll credits.
Yeah, it would just be like, it'd be Picard in the holodeck, just
What do I do
staring
this
down
thing?
at the hammer, and then like roll credits.
Yeah. They'd like have to cut the deck and just let it fall out to the bottom of the ship.
Yeah. So obviously,
how do you get it out of
no,
there?
I think other people made the comment that Picard might just be worthy.
Oh,
I mean,
thought about that.
and like that's very plausible.
We're really making
Sorry,
Blaine
Blaine.
angry. Sorry, Blaine.
Sorry. But all right, we got
Thor loses.
we got to move on.
Yes.
I do want to mention though that this does mean that my prophecy is shot.
Already gone.
Yeah, so I thought that Thor and Hulk would meet in the finals. Who would have guessed Thor would lose in round 1? All right, moving on. So this week's match, we have...
Wait, Thor, we're going to make it up to you real soon.
Oh, yeah. All right, so this week we have the Powerpuff Girls versus the Dungeon Master from the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon.
Yeah.
Take it away, Ron.
You know, I've seen some of the comments so far. I'm going with Powerpuff Girls on this one.
I initially thought this was probably just the DM here.
Yeah.
But after reading the comments, and particularly Jeremy Harmon, front runner for this week's comment winner.
Yeah, I did not see his yet.
So, preview. Wizards of the Coast recommends that Dungeons and Dragons for children ages 10 and up.
Right.
Powerpuff Girls are all 5. So
Ooh.
Dungeon Master can't actually affect them with his world building rules. So they can just lay him out.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's thinking.
So we'll see. All right,
Oh,
moving on.
All right, we got some regular events happen every week.
But last week.
Oh, we got last week. Got to do the recap from last week.
Yes, so please show us what we had last week.
We had a ton of stuff that went down. We had some pictures. Got a black screen. Look at this.
There we go.
All right, so we had some folks in playing Bolt Action. Local celebrity Phil Caskey was in with some cast and crew playing some Bolt Action game.
And Bolt Action is a historical miniatures game.
It is. I'm not sure what what factions were playing. So that thing, it actually, I thought that they had like photoshopped like a fiery explosion on this tank, and that is actually, they made that. It is like some kind of like black foam stuff with a light on the inside. It looks amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Is Bolt Action just World War II, or are there other?
I think there's other there are other factions. I'm not sure what the time frame is on those, but from what I understand, they're actually expanding the game.
Okay.
Coming out with a bunch of new stuff. We actually just got a huge restock. Lots more factions, lots more models in. So come in and check those out.
Very pretty.
Yes, very, very nice.
And of course, we have our calendar image for this week's events. We're going to go over in detail our unique events for this week. If you need any more details on those events or on our weekly events, go to our Facebook page and click on the events tab.
Yep.
And first off, we're going to talk about
Sealed League. It happened Monday. Started out Monday. It's not too late to join in if you haven't joined in yet. Entry is $15. Starts you off with 3 packs. Right?
Yeah. So the way this works is you get 3 packs of Rivals of Ixalan, and then 1 pack per week. You get the option to buy another pack per week that you're in. You build a 30-card deck. You get to play any number of matches with anybody else in the league. You just have to break up your matches. You can't play the same person 10 times in a row.
Yep.
And at the end of the 4 weeks, we're going to calculate up everybody's wins, come up with some rankings. We're going to have some points. It's super fun, super casual. We usually have quite a few people who do it.
Yeah.
And you can sign up anytime. If you missed the first week, which is now, you can sign up next week. We've had people join as late as week 3. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. All right. Coming up also, we have a pre-release coming up this Saturday. It's starting at $5, $25 entry. It's the X-Men Xavier School pre-release.
Yes, this is a HeroClix event. Was originally scheduled for this Wednesday. Due to some shipping issues, we're going to hold the event on Saturday.
Yep.
We are going to have a regular HeroClix event this Wednesday as well.
Yep.
And then we also have 2 different Force of Will events this week.
We do. So we're on Wednesday night. We're going to do some demos for Force of Will. If you haven't played the game, it's a great time to come out and learn how to play.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got a tournament this Friday at 6 at the kind of parallel with Friday Night Magic, Friday Night Pokemon. So come out and get your Force of Will on.
And speaking of Friday Night Pokemon, we are doing our Sun and Moon Ultra Prism release party. So what we're going to do is a draft. And when you draft Pokemon as opposed to Magic, it's 5 packs instead of 3, $20 entry fee. Please be aware that this week our event will be at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30.
Yep.
If you think you're going to be a little late, let us know. We can't guarantee we can get you into the event, but we can work with you. We are always able to do more for you if you let us know that you're going to be in late.
Yeah. Last week was pre-release. Went over great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, a lot of fun.
Well, Pokemon pre-releases are always some of our best events.
Yeah.
Full
show. What else we got? Looks like we got some Card Fight Vanguard coming out.
Card Fight Vanguard!
It's a new release for this set. We're going to have the release event at 1 p.m. It's a $5 entry.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the first Card Fight tournaments we've had in a while, so come on out.
Yeah, we have some enthusiastic players who are trying to revitalize the community. Yep. And speaking of revitalizing anime card games, we are going to have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Event this Saturday.
Yep.
That was just decided
what time
10 minutes ago. Watch our Facebook page. We're going to have an event page up later tonight / tomorrow morning. There's going to be details. We're going to try and get some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Events kickstarted.
On the books.
Yes.
Yep.
So please check that out.
Yep.
All right, moving on to my favorite segment.
And my favorite segment.
Yes. Just announced this week, Run Disney, which is apparently...
this is a big thing. It really is for marathon people.
Run Disney is a Disney's marathon company. Mm-hmm. They just sponsor marathons. They're going to do a Star Wars half marathon, The Dark Side, this April at Disney World in Orlando. And on the screen, you can see various medals depicting Star Wars villains that you can win at this event. It's going to be April the 19th through the 22nd. And oh my gosh, I wish I could go to this.
I'm gonna start stretching now.
Yeah, we gotta start training. We need some Rocky music. We gotta. Do you think they run to the Imperial March?
That'd be great.
Call it the Imperial Marathon. I don't know. But these things really are gorgeous. Yeah. All right, so moving on.
Our top 10. I love this.
Yes, moving on to our top 10. We're going to do a top 10 this week since we did Star Wars movies last week.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and do Star
Trek.
Yep. We've been Ron and I have been on a little bit of a Star Trek kick recently.
All because of Discovery. Guys, if you're not watching that show, holy cow, watch this thing.
Get caught up.
Jesus.
For real.
How many episodes have we into? Like 13?
13. There's 2 more left in this season. And so because of that, we want to do a top 10 Star Trek episodes, but we didn't give ourselves enough time to prep that. So we're going to do top 10 Star Trek movies this week. All right, from the bottom.
What's the bottom?
All right, so that's my list on the left, your list on the right. Why don't you go ahead and talk to us about Star Trek Insurrection?
Insurrection hit the bottom for me. Actually,
This is out of 13.
Yeah, this is out of 13. I actually rated all 13 of them, but Insurrection came in at 10 for me because it's one of my least favorite movies. I will watch just about anything else but this movie. It has nothing.
Well, apparently
I don't like it.
Apparently, you prefer it to 3 others.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to take some heat for the ones that I dropped off my list.
Insurrection is not on my list.
Yeah.
I like it, but it.
I would watch it if there's nothing else on. Mm-hmm. I might read a book before I'd watch this movie.
I don't believe that for a second. So Star Trek, the motion picture, the original Star Trek film, hit the bottom of my list.
That pains me.
Well, here's the thing, like there are parts of it that are really hard to watch, but it also has some really like iconic Star Trek scenes, like the transporter malfunction. Oh
when
my
they
god!
Melt.
I have nightmares over that.
As a kid,
still.
that was rough to watch.
Yeah, it really was.
The thing that got me about that movie is it took like a half hour for them to actually get in the ship. Where I guess Scotty just kept flying around and around. They're getting like all these glory shots.
I'm sorry, but this is. Scotty's, you know what?
Yeah,
the Enterprise, my lady. All right, moving on to number 9. What do you have?
I got Search for Spock.
Oh!
No, Search for Spock was so bad.
No, it wasn't.
So bad.
No, it wasn't.
All right, so after Wrath of Khan, see, I'm going to show my age here. After Wrath of Khan, there was like 3 years where we didn't know, was Spock alive? Was he dead? Did the torpedo tube open at the end of Wrath of Khan? Nobody knew. And then this movie came out.
Everybody but you knew that he was still alive.
Oh yeah. Well, but when this movie came out, I was so disappointed. This did not live up to any of my expectations at all. But Generations, for you?
Yeah.
You love Generations, people.
I love this movie. Like, I love all the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
So it's bottom of a list of good movies, you know. But so Generations. If you don't know, this is the first Star Trek: The Next Generation movie that also has Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, Captain Kirk dies. And do you know the story about how they decided how Kirk would go out?
No.
Okay, so in the original script, he was going to get stabbed by the villain Soren.
Yeah. I like Soren as a villain, by the way.
Yeah, he was really cool. But what ends up happening in the movie is that he falls off he's going across this bridge trying to get at him. It's more dramatic than I'm making it sound. And the bridge blows up and they both go tumbling into a ravine and he lands and the bridge lands on him and he dies.
Right.
And they decided while making it, and supposedly Shatner suggested this, which I'm skeptical of, that he said every episode of the original series ended with the captain on the bridge. Why don't we end the captain with the bridge on the captain?
Oh God, no!
So yeah, it really is a good movie, despite Whoopi Goldberg.
Great.
All right, moving on to number 8. You have the motion picture.
Motion picture. It didn't rank very high with me, mostly because there was a lot of slow parts in this movie. But,
like I said, yeah.
Yeah.
But also some very iconic scenes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But Star Trek Beyond.
I love.
I will fight you. That was a good movie.
No. I'm saying it's the 8th best of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love Star Trek Beyond. So of the 3 J.J. Abrams movies, this one felt like the most the most Trek by far. I thought it was amazing.
Ira, Star Trek: The Motionless Picture. That's fantastic.
That hurts.
All right. Quick segue about motion picture. When I worked at the Warner, I had this huge coup where I was able to score an original print of motion picture. And I thought it was going to go over huge. We got the print and it was so old, everything had turned purple. So the whole movie was purple. I was so mad. Nobody came to see that.
You could call the transporter the purple Vulcanator.
Why is she turning violet? Number 7.
Number 6 or number 7. You're right.
7.
So you put Generations here.
I like Generations. Yeah.
Generations is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I put The Undiscovered Country here, which is okay. So this is where like you think I'm insulting these movies, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm complimenting. Undiscovered Country is an amazing movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is the last time we see the full original crew together. This is where we finally get to see the Federation and the Klingon Empire put their differences aside. It has some of, to me, like the most iconic lines in Star Trek history.
Oh yeah.
Where
What's your favorite line?
probably there's 2.
Okay.
Where Sulu's officer says, "Sir, she'll fly apart," and he goes, "We'll fly apart then."
That's my favorite line.
Or-
That's great.
Or Chekhov's, where they're searching for the uniforms or for the boots.
Yeah.
And he says, "Perhaps you've heard of Russian epic of Cinderella. If the shoe fits, wear it." And the guy has web feet. Now,
Yeah.
you gotta watch the movie. All right, so moving on to number 6.
Number 6, we have.
You put First Contact at number
I
6.
did put First Contact. First Contact wasn't, I guess, that bad. It was in the bottom 5.
I'm going to physically harm you. We can't see my number 6 because
First
Alex
Contact-
has the
You've got
chat
Into
box
Darkness.
over it.
So First Contact, I love the Borg as villains.
The Borg are the best villain.
They really are. They were the first TV villain that actually I thought was a challenge for the Enterprise and the crew and that, and they they whooped their butts.
Because the Klingons and the Romulans, these are all people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they end up just reasoning with them or outsmarting them. The Borg are a force.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Into Darkness. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. That's the new con.
That was the movie that launched me into Trek fandom.
Really?
That's the one where I was like, okay, so I went back and I watched Wrath of Khan, and then I watched all the movies, and then I watched Space Seed, and then I watched the original series, and then that's what launched me
Slippery slope.
into my 5-year project of watching every episode of Star Trek by air date. Yeah.
Lord.
Number 5, you put Undiscovered Country here.
I like the Undiscovered Country a lot. I like the mystery aspect of it. You know how they're trying to solve who did what. You got the Star Trek reboot at 5.
That blew up Vulcan.
Oh, me and a friend of mine, Shay, if you're watching, I'm about to talk about you. We had many arguments about
If they were going to bring back Vulcan or not.
Actually, it says Start Trek. So
Start Trek.
Start Trek, as opposed to End the Trek.
Gosh, Alex.
He's waving again.
1 minute. 1 minute on
We
the
got 1
segment.
minute?
1 minute on the segment. All right, so you
Number
put Start.
4.
Now, see, that's like I told you when I walked in, I'm having a lot of issue with this list. And
Yeah.
if you asked me to do this again tomorrow, it might look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I really want to put Beyond higher, but I don't know if it is better than Undiscovered Country. And it's rough.
See, I like Beyond because it's newer and it's. I mean, the effect. I always look at movies from an effect standpoint too. That's older
true.
movies have a real disadvantage.
And Idris Elba is everything he's in. He just shakes me.
Great.
Yeah. And I put Search for Spock here because it deserves to be at the top of the list.
No, I don't think
and
so.
you are a terrible, awful, terrible human being. Move on to number 3. Into Darkness.
Into Darkness.
That's fair.
Voyage Home. What are you crazy?
The third best. Definitively, I am sure that is the third best Star Trek movie.
Admiral, there be whales here. No.
Okay, so first off, this was the first Star Trek anything I ever saw.
I'm so sorry. How did you watch anything after this?
You're awful.
Was that not the
But
last?
this is like the perfect like.
It was.
Okay, why is Voyage Home Trek? Because as they are going back to 1990s Earth and treating it like it's an alien race, like they would like they're dropping on any other planet, and it's just hilarious. Also, nuclear
vessels. I was wondering when the vessels were going to show up.
Well, the vessels are here. They're
whistles.
docked. All right, on to number 2.
I had the reboot. You put Wrath of Khan. We are not friends. What are you thinking?
You should know exactly what my number 1 is.
I can't even fathom what you're.
You know what my number 1 is. Say it.
What? I don't know what it is.
Say it.
First Contact.
Picard, Borg, it wins.
Oh no.
It's best. Picard is best.
He shoots him on the holodeck.
He broke his little ships.
That is so terrible.
What?
Wrath of Khan was the perfect Trek movie.
It is.
Perfect.
I think if you're looking at it from a technical standpoint, Wrath of Khan is probably the best movie. But my favorite is First Contact.
Facebook chat, back me up on this. Best Star Trek movie. Let's see.
They all bailed when we started this. They're like, abandoned ship, just like in First Contact, where they abandoned the Enterprise. Escape pods left and right. Droids landing on Tatooine. All right, we're done with this. We're done with it. First Contact's the best.
Oh no,
we didn't even talk about Wrath of Khan. It's a pretty good movie.
We didn't.
It's a good movie.
Oh, I have can I tell a quick story about Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, of course.
I saw Wrath of Khan.
I'm just gonna look at Steve.
You do that, Steve. Wrath of Khan was in theaters at the Warner. I saw Wrath of Khan at the Warner. For you townies, you know that the Warner had problems with films a lot. Wrath of Khan, right when Spock was going down into the warp core.
Spoiler alert: Spock dies.
Yeah, he's going down the ladder. Film breaks.
Live long and prosper,
lights
or don't.
Come up. Lights come back down 20 minutes later. They're burying Spock. We have no idea what happened.
And let's clarify for you young kids, there's no internet to go look this up. You can't go see a cam feed from YouTube.
Yeah, and they came in like, sorry, no refunds, get out. You want to see it again?
And you worked for these people.
Oh, that was my one painful memory of the Warner. All right, let's.
All right, moving on to Countdown to Infinity, Week 5, Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yes. We've actually been doing this. We watched Thor last week. We watched Thor last week. We're going to watch Captain America this week.
I watched Captain America last night. Mm-hmm. So this is probably, of all the MCU movies, this is probably the one I've seen the most.
Oh, this is the one I've seen the least. I saw this in theaters one time. I haven't seen it since.
Now I know that you're not a Captain America fan.
No.
But I do think you should watch this movie. Oh, obviously you're going to.
Right.
I think you go in there open-minded because this is a really good movie.
Yeah. We were going to watch Captain America last night. We ended up watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., believe it or not. So
we got to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. later.
Oh, my Lord, yes.
We just watched it. We watched part of it last night and we finished the rest of it before I got here. Yeah. And it's still like, I watch this movie every year, every other year. So there was no a lot of these movies, as I'm rewatching them, I haven't seen them in 3-4 plus years. Not this one. It still blows me away every time. Little comment, it's starting. Some of the effects are starting to show their age.
Really? Already?
Particularly, where they in the beginning where they have Chris Evans' face on the little guy. It doesn't look really great. But this is also this is still before these movies were the blockbuster successes, where they literally have an unlimited budget where Disney's here's a blank check.
Go make some movies.
Yeah. But I know you're skeptical of this movie.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't know why. Maybe I really don't like historical movies either. I really don't. So I don't like old stuff.
Captain America is weird for me because typically when it comes to superheroes, I don't like the Boy Scout type.
Yeah.
I don't like
Superman.
I don't like Superman. I hate Cyclops. Cyclops is the worst ever. But for some reason, Steve's my guy.
Yeah. And I guess he plays a fairly big role in the upcoming.
That's because he's willing to kill people.
That's true.
The rest of them aren't.
Is he?
He doesn't have. I mean, if he has the choice to not kill, he won't. Right. But he will kill.
He killed a bunch of Nazis and everything.
That's
61.
So you counted?
Last time we had an argument about this movie, you said there's not enough Nazi killing. So I counted last night.
Something I'd say.
He kills or knocks out 61 Nazis in this movie.
All right, so that's a fair amount of Nazi killing.
It's a whole lot. He sends one through a propeller.
Oh.
You remember where he pulls the ejector seat on one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You need to watch this movie again. So next week, Avengers.
Oh yes.
Yep. All right. So moving on to Horsemen of the Week. I'm gonna let you take this one away.
We have a relatively new face in the shop. It started coming out a few weeks back, and fantastic member of the community. Great to talk with, great to play with. Has actually volunteered to start doing some of our commentating on Friday Night Magic.
And did last week.
Did a fantastic job. Did you happen to catch any of it?
So I did. I edited it and uploaded it. So
yes,
I did that.
Austin's a great guy.
Austin Henry.
Yes.
So we just wanted to shout him out. He's a new presence in the community, and he just came in like a force, and started making friends and participating outside of just playing. And we just wanted to shout you out and say, "Hey, man, thanks for coming out to play." Yep. All right, so moving on to the Four Horsemen mailbag.
Thank God. This is the last Cosmo quiz.
This
right?
is the last
Thank goodness.
week. We had a local smartass who dared us to do an entire month of Four Horsemen mailbags of Cosmo questions. We're gonna finish this off with an actual quiz.
All right.
Alex is gonna read it to us. What is the quiz that we are doing, Alex?
Would you make good parents together?
What? All right. Shoot.
Question number 1. A child is throwing a fit in a restaurant where you're both eating. What do you do?
Leave. Leave the child.
Not our child.
Not
Oh,
your
okay.
child. A child at another table.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So this is not your kid. This is somebody else's
Well, that changes
kid.
everything.
Do you both look at each other and then exchange glances with the parents of the kid, trying to commiserate with them? Do you send over a bottle of wine, but then
For the child.
go into a rant about common decency in public places, or do you just get up and leave? You know, this is not daycare. This is date night.
I feel like we'd be giving them dirty looks.
Oh, yeah, there'd be dirty looks all over the place.
Okay.
In that one, we agree.
All right, think fast. Do you know what you would do with your kids during the day?
Benadryl. Daddy loves you. Night night.
Do you have a plan for their first 5 years of life? Or Ron, do you want Ryan to stay at home and take care of the kids, but think eventually you should spring for daycare? Or you've never thought about what you're going to do with your little kids?
Oh, wow. It depends on how fast they chew through the duct tape.
Probably the second one with me caring for them.
Yeah,
would be
that's their
would be
only
the one there.
chance.
Yeah.
That is their only chance at all.
Now, were you raised by your parents very different from each other?
I was raised by a pack of wolves.
Do you think each other was raised the same, different, or your parents just did the best they could?
Ooh.
Well, we both walked out the door at 18.
That'll tell you something. So, yes, they're pretty similar then.
No offense, Mom. I know you watch this, and I love you.
Hi, Mom.
You forgot my mom watches the show.
Is she really? You're in trouble.
No,
You better send her flowers.
I mean, she did the same thing to her parents, so it's fine.
All right, do you guys argue a lot?
No. Unless we're talking about Star Trek ranking.
Is it more arguing or is it just disagreeing? Do you argue a lot? Yes. Or you argue but you tend to avoid topics that are really going to make you mad?
What are those again?
Do you not consider it arguing, you just disagree? Or yes, you actually argue a lot, or you argue but you never hit on important topics that would really piss you off?
We argue a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to have a comment, but you've got to come up and ask me about it in person because I'm not going to say it on the air. Just remind me about this. It's great.
All right, final question. Have you ever babysat together or watched someone else's kid for the night?
No.
Yes, and it was horrible. Yes, and it was a great thing. Or no, I don't know how to watch a kid.
The answer is no.
Yeah, no.
I do know how to watch a child, but the answer is no. All right, are we...
Wait, scroll down. What was that picture? Holy Cosmo.
This is Ron's first
Come
time
on.
viewing the Cosmo website.
Don't Google
Okay,
that,
so
kids.
apparently the two of you should become parents together because you're very same here.
No.
You recognize that you're a team, but and you both got the same goals. So make sure you get those sippy cups and dirty diapers ready.
I feel like I'm going to be the underappreciated one in this. All right, moving on to Did You Know Four Horsemen. Did you know we have an entire room dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons that you can use for free?
Full freezing.
Tell us about the D&D room.
I can't.
Stop looking at the Cosmo page and tell the people about the D&D room.
Don't Google Cosmo, anyone. Nobody should look at that site ever.
Oh my god.
What was that? All right.
Focus!
Focus. So the D&D room has some really cool stories, but do we get pictures of the D&D room?
Well, we did, but we didn't Yeah, so
We
don't.
We have a D&D room. It is a large room. It is decorated very dungeon-ish. It's always free. If it's open, come in, play some D&D, play any kind of games.
Yeah, if you have a big thing that you want to make sure you have the space for, call us.
Yep. So, pretty cool.
Maybe we'll show some pictures next week.
Yeah, we'll have pictures.
All right, we have a sale.
We do have a sale. Where's our sale thing?
I thought we had it up here. Didn't we have it up here?
I think we might have had it up here.
Oh. Can't actually see that. There you go. This is the Milestone Thor Armored Thor resin statue from Marvel and Diamond.
A little hard.
Regularly priced at $225.
$225.
This week, when you mentioned this week of Horsemen at the store, $130. And we have two.
Yes, only
They are
two.
numbered.
Only two. There is one actually numbered 444 of 1,000.
Yeah, they only made 1,000 of these, of which we have 2.
Yeah.
Which means we have a significant percentage of all of these.
I can't do that math in my head.
But I just want to let you know, even though we have 2, there was a guy who came around earlier. He was looking at these. He's interested. So maybe we only have 1.
There might be 1 left.
Yeah.
Of course, Jason is still downstairs. We might have 0 left. Not sure.
Cleaned us out.
Yeah, he's looking for that gift certificate.
Justy! All right,
See, Blaine, we hooked you up.
All right, moving on to the credits, but make sure to stay after the credits for the Four Horsemen after credits scene. Please like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Four Horsemen Comics. Follow us on Instagram at Four Horsemen Comics.
We've also got a YouTube channel at Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming. And check us out on Twitter at the 4 Horsemen Comics. You can also see us on Twitch at twitch.tv/4 Horsemen Comics. And check out our inventory anytime online at shop.4horsemencomics.com. And now we've got a roll for next week's. That was a smooth segue. It runs out in the middle of the
Bam! Number 8. Scroll us up.
8.
Number 8, Jay Zeem has suggested the Hans falls off the building scene from Die Hard. So that is what we will be doing next week. As for this week, we're going to be doing a scene from Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Is the Carbonite scene. This was suggested by AJ Clock. Thank you, AJ.
Good job. Are you ready? Ready? All right.
No! Stop! Chewie, stop! Chewie! This won't help me! Hey! Save your strength. There'll be another time. The princess! You have to take care of her.
I'm not doing
You
that.
hear me?
I'm not doing that.
Huh?
Yes. Stay right there.
Make your hand like this.
Okay. Oh. That was Han and Leia kissing. Oh. I love you.
I know. Bye, everybody.
Episode 50.